right. So billionaire investor Ray Dalio says he'd rather own Bitcoin than bonds as inflation surges and reveals he's bought some of the cryptocurrency. Guys, I'm sorry. Yeah, we might be in a downtrend right now with the cryptos, but I think that it's here to stay. Maybe all of these billionaires are fooling us, right, to getting into it, and they've got the insider information and they know exactly when to get out. But there are signs that you can look for to sell towards tops. So this doesn't completely keep me out of the market, just like with gold and silver. JP Morgan controls silver. I don't think there's any hiding that at this point. I mean, how many slaps on the wrist can you get for doing just that? Personally, I'm going to move with the big money, right? And luckily, some of us might have been into some of these investments before the big money ever showed up. So let's actually go and take a look at what Ray had to say here. The billionaire investor Ray Dalio said in an interview that aired Monday at the Consensus by CoinDesk convention that he would rather own Bitcoin than bonds. The Bridgewater Associates founder reiterated his view that the US dollar is on the verge of a devaluation. We have been seeing this. If you have been paying attention to the economy for the last 20 or 30 years, you have seen this coming. He also suggests that Bitcoin could be an attractive savings vehicle in an inflationary scenario. It could be. Time will tell in this event. We know that inflation is knocking on the door. It has been. And they can skew the numbers all that they want. They can sweep everything under the rug if they wanted to and tell you that there's no inflation, but you're feeling it today. We're all feeling the inflation, and I have a feeling that it could get much worse. Time will tell if Bitcoin is attractive for inflationary scenarios. That's all that I can say. I've got a feeling, even if it looks attractive and people start jumping in, there could be another mass sell-off just to shake people out. Sadly, this stuff is manipulated. And whether it be by billionaires and millionaires that we know the names of or somebody hiding in a dark room somewhere, it's being manipulated. I think that we should be able to agree with that. Bitcoin is no longer the people's money. No. We're far from the people's money. It's now an easy investment to get into that can drop or rise on a dime. This goes on to say, the more we create savings in it, the more you might say I'd rather have Bitcoin than the bond. Dalio said in the interview recorded on May 6th, personally, I'd rather have Bitcoin than a bond. I guess if there was a gun pointed at my head and you had the option of here, buy some Bitcoin or buy bonds, I'm definitely going to buy Bitcoin because maybe I'm just too young. Bonds seem a little bit played out and it's just not worth my time or money. It's not worth it. Inflation isn't even going to keep up with what the bonds are doing. Now, Dalio said that he does have some Bitcoin. The investor did not say how much he owned, though. So we have no idea how big the portfolio is. I mean, he could literally have 0.002 Bitcoin and say that he owns some Bitcoin. We have no idea. Bitcoin did rebound Monday by as much as 15% to about $38,683 after vicious sell-offs over the weekend. Now, guys, I would not be too excited about this just because we see a little bit of green on the board. I don't know if that means that you've missed out on an opportunity to, I don't know if we can call it cheap Bitcoin, but get Bitcoin maybe on sale. I'm still waiting to see if we can maintain over that $40,000 limit. If we can't do that, I feel as if we're going to get another leg lower. I'm just looking at this realistically. Look at the run-up that we've had. Look at the mess that's going on right now. I don't know. I've got a good feeling we could have that another leg down. I'm really hoping for, 22,000. And once it settles around 25 something, I think then we could see the run-up. But if we're not touching 40, it's just not happening. I can't see that. Dalio added that Bitcoin's greatest risk is its success. If it becomes a larger asset class and poses a real threat to others like bonds, that could prompt a regulatory crackdown that could hinder the cryptocurrency. Again, I've said it before, temporarily, it would really hurt the crypto markets, but as things get sorted out, that's when people would likely come back in. But, after that regulatory crackdown happens, if and when it does, don't expect Bitcoin to move like it does today. I'm not so positive that we would be able to see such dramatic rising and falling in price here. Now, it goes on to say right now, Bitcoin isn't a true threat because it's still small relative to other assets, he said. The total value of Bitcoin is slightly over 1 trillion, while the value of US bonds is about 23 trillion, according to Dalio. So in March, the US government could in March, Dalio said the US government could ban Bitcoin altogether if it became too successful. And it's got a long ways to go before it becomes truly that successful. Now, could the feds actually see Bitcoin as maybe a threat to them? Possibly so. That is possible, but with Wall Street, banks, big hedge funds all getting into this, you've got millionaires and billionaires here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know if I see that happening, because once you start messing with billionaire money, people are going to have some problems. I think that we should know by now how our government is actually funded and who actually comes up with your laws. I don't think I need to go too deeply into that. But once you start playing around with big players and start putting walls around them, sorry, I don't think that that's going to work out. So the more billionaires and millionaires that we see breaking into this, the more hedge funds, banking, all playing a role in crypto here, the less likely I see hardcore crackdowns coming. Now, if you want to read the rest of this article, it will be down in the link below. It's just something that I think that we should take note of. It is telling me that I think that cryptos are here to stay. Again, even with regulation, I see that being temporary as far as blood in the streets goes. Yes, it will be a bad day when regulation comes. Give it a couple months, maybe even a couple years, Bitcoin will be back. Other cryptos, they'll continue to thrive. I do see that happening. It would take something pretty epic for them to shut it down completely. And if they did, buy that fear. If there was some sort of crackdown and there was a temporary moment where you really couldn't do anything, the moment that the green light is given again, we'd probably see a mass sell-off. And, once you get a look at what the new laws are, new regulations, look into all that to see if it's worth it. But at that point, I would be looking to see, is that a good time to get in? So many people would be far too fearful to get back into it. But only time will tell what happens from here. Let me know what you think. Bitcoin or bonds? I mean, most of us, I think if that was literally your only choice, Bitcoin or bonds, you'd probably choose Bitcoin. Why the hell would you choose bonds? Bye, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.